Commodores, James Ingram, Luther Vandross, Freddie Jackson, Barry White, Diana Ross, and the Supremes. Put my glasses on. New Edition, Patti LaBelle, what, Bobby Womack. What do all of these names have in common? Soul music. Soul music is music that's been around for years, decades. Soul music is what they say is food for the soul. It's a blend of African folktale, poetry, spiritual music, music that lets your mind, your soul, and your body feel good all together at the same time. It's kind of music that shines through, that when you hear it, you can do nothing but dance. You can do nothing but just relax, nothing but speak to your friends. It's something that it elevates you to a whole different world and purpose. Soulful music has been around so long that new jack artists today sample old school soulful soul music. The Commodores, Lionel Richie, the Shy Lights, artists like them back in the '60s and '70s, and soul music even goes back as late and early as the 1930s. Some of you probably be like, well, 1930s. Yes, 1930s, because soul music was originally called African folktale music with the beat of the drum, stuff like that and everything. Soul music was type of music that people of color discovered that to give themselves something to relate to give themselves something to communicate and relate with. And soul music has also crossed genres. Prime example, the phrase called blue-eyed soul, Hall and Oates, Phil Collins, artists like them. Yes, we really say, well, how are white artists doing with soul music? Soul music doesn't necessarily stick to the black artists. It's the kind of rhythm and feel that you get when you're singing and when you're feeling. It's a feel. Actually, it's a feel. You have artists today, Music Soul Child, Lettucey, Alicia Keys, and yes, people may disagree, but even Beyonce is soul music. Soul music is something to where when you read the definition of it, it breaks it down detail by detail. Soul music is kind of music to where when you just want to have a nice evening out with your lady, or ladies with your man, if you just want to sit there and read a book and listen to something that's going to just get your mind off of the everyday rhetoric. We recently lost, on June 27th this year, we lost Bobby Womack. Most of you know him as the poet. One of the most beautiful and talented artists of all time. His music was strictly and purely soulful music. His biggest hits were If You Think You're Lonely Now, I Wish He Didn't Trust Me So Much. He has several hits. Oh, he also had a hit called Crossing 125th Street. And his music touched a lot of people. His music was strictly soul music with a little bit of touch of African folktale with it. Bobby Womack had been around since the 1960s, started out with his brothers, and he became a solo artist in the early to mid 70s. Unfortunately, he died before he could finish his 2013 comeback album. Yeah, other soulful artists like Aretha Franklin, Patti LaBelle, Diana Ross, Gladys Knight and the Pips, beautiful, talented female soul artists. Their music was somewhat different, but yet the same. What I mean by that is their style of singing may have been different, but the message that they put across and the character of their music was different as well as the same. It made you listen. It made you feel. That's basically what it is. And female soul artists' music, to me, it sort of sets apart from everyone else, from the male soul artists and so on. It speaks to you in a different way. Maybe because they are female and the fellas, we think that they're singing to us. That's how we want to feel. Especially when you listen to an Alicia Keys album today. You think that she's right there singing directly towards you. Ladies, I'm pretty sure you feel the same way about James Ingram, Barry White, um, Freddie Jackson. The music, it will never die. The feelings of the music will never change. It makes you feel in a way to where you say to yourself, if I want to be an artist and I want to make a difference and people feel good in my music, what kind of music should I sing? Everything, hip hop, gospel, heavy metal, rock and roll. But there's something special about soul music. It just sort of takes you away from everything else. And I just want to come out and let people know that I'm a big fan of soulful music as well as millions, hundreds of millions of people are. And when you define music in itself, I can almost guarantee that soul music will be at the top of the list. It's not something that you're going to, I would say, uncategorize or categorize. It's something that is just there. It just tells you, it speaks to you. Okay? Well, soul music is something that I want you all to realize this. Don't think about it. Just sit down and listen to it, praise it, relate, and if you can, communicate through it. Well, that's my commentary on soul music for today. This is J5, and I want to thank you. Thank you for listening and tuning in. I will see you later in the week with another commentary. Until then, peace, love, and stay safe.